In today's video, we're going to talk about how to take word problems and change them into function rules, tables, graphs, and then make predictions based on our function rule. So our word problem is the temperature starts at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and it rises 2 degrees every hour. Alright, so step one is to create a table that illustrates the relationship between the number of hours x and the temperature. The number of hours, or your x value, is your independent variable. It's a little bit of vocabulary. Okay, so x, an independent variable, that's your number of hours, and your dependent variable, or your y, is going to be your temperature. So in our table, it says the temperature starts at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So at 0 hours, my temperature is 50 degrees. It rises 2 degrees every hour. So after 1 hour, I'm going to have to rise 2 degrees, meaning this will be 52. After 2 hours, I'm rising another 2 degrees, so that would be 54. 3 hours, my temperature would be 56 degrees, and 4 hours, my temperature would be 58 degrees. So then I can take this table and I can use it to help me write the function rule and create a graph. So my first step is the table, and then I'm going to use the function rule, and then I'm going to draw a graph. So again, for my function rule, just like we've been doing, my number of hours, or my x, has to relate to my y. So how do I get from 0 to 50, 1 to 52, 2 to 54, 3 to 56, 4 to 58? So if I look at my first two values, I'll notice that, if I look at my x values, I'll notice that they're in order, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can use the trick about figuring out the sequence. So 50, 52, 54, 56, 58 form an arithmetic sequence, and my common difference is 2. So what that means is, in my function rule, I'm going to have y equals 2x. That common difference becomes the coefficient on my rule. And then I can look at what do I need to add or subtract to 2x in order to make my table work out. So here, if I have 2 times 0, I get 0, but I need 50. So I'm going to have to add to this 50. And then I can test that for the rest of them. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 50 is 52. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 50 is 54. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 50 is 56. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 50 is 58. So that's the correct function rule. And again, this arithmetic sequence trick only works if my x values are in order, and so they were. So that's helpful. From here, I can then use my table to make a graph. My x values along the x-axis are my number of hours. So I have 0 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And then my temperature is along the y-axis. And I'm going to use this little symbol right here that means break. So I'm breaking the graph. I'm starting at 0. And then I'm going to go to 50. And I'm going to count by 2s. 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. And then I'm going to plot my ordered pairs. So at time 0, my temperature is 50. At 1 hour, my temperature is 52. At 2 hours, my temperature is 54. At 3 hours, my temperature is 56. And at 4 hours, my temperature is 58. And then the last thing I'm going to do is says use the rule to determine the temperature after 3 hours. So this should say 10 hours, not 3. So I'm going to use my function rule to determine the temperature after 10 hours. So x was my temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug my temperature in for x. So I'm plugging 10 in for x. So 2 times 10 is 20. And 20 plus 50 is 70 degrees. So my temperature after 10 hours would be 70 degrees. So quick recap, first thing you want to do is take your word problem and turn it into a table. From your table you can go to your rule and your graph, and then you can use your rule to make any prediction that the word problem asks you to make.